Are you beating yourself up, saying things like you're terrible at time management, or that you have no willpower, or self discipline, or even that you're bad at organizing? Well, stop it. Okay, these thoughts are not self-serving, and you know what? They're just flat out wrong. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Good morning and welcome to Transform Yourself in 15 Minutes. My name is McAdams. I'm an author. I'm also an accounting professor and a certified life coach. I specialize in personal and small business finance and also fitness. I help people reach their goals. And we are going to be doing 5-minute exercises, one each for the mind, the body, and the soul. And there's two things that I want you to know. Number one is this. I am not here to teach you anything. I'm just here to unlock what's already within inside of you. And then number two is understand that this mind portion is just going to be a little short 5-minute lesson, but it's going to take you a lifetime to master. And I want to welcome, good morning, Beth. Good to see you. Good to see you live. All right, so we're going to be talking about procrastination. As a matter of fact, this is the conclusion of our talk this month about procrastination. We are discussing this book called Eat, Not This, But That Frog. They finally get to come off their thrones today. But Eat That Frog by Tracy, and it's about procrastination. And specifically, we're going to be talking about two types of procrastination. We're going to talk about the causes of procrastination, and then I'm going to give you a 3-step process to get you started. All right, it's a tall order for 5 minutes, so let me go ahead and get started. All right, first off, I want to briefly talk about the two types of procrastination. Number one is destructive, and then the second one is productive. Yes, there is a productive type of procrastination, and that's one we're going to talk about first. So this one is, are you doing like some type of big creative project that doesn't have a deadline, but for some reason you just can't get yourself motivated or start to go? Sound familiar, Beth? Well, guess what? That is known as productive procrastination. In other words, if you can't get yourself started, for this, remember, we're talking about a creative project that doesn't have a deadline. And if you're not getting the results that you want, if you just can't get yourself motivated to start it, set the project aside. Just set it aside, even for a few weeks, and then focus on something else. And that's going to give your mind the time to re-energize, and then come back to it a few weeks later, or maybe a few months, depending on what it feels like to you. But come back to it later, and you're going to come back to it with fresh eyes. And again, that's known as productive procrastination. Okay, so that's based upon creative work that doesn't have any deadlines. Now, the second type of procrastination is the one that we've really been focusing on all month, and that is the destructive type. And this is a type where you're actually avoiding completing some type of task that you know that there's going to be negative consequences for you not doing it. Okay, so now that's the one again that we've been focusing on. But guys, I want you to understand this. Okay, number one is that by procrastinating, it is not a sign of laziness. Okay, so stop beating yourself up. Stop with these negative thoughts. It is not a sign of laziness at all. Guess what it is? It is actually a coping mechanism for alleviating stress. Yes, stress. And guess what? It has nothing to do with the stress of the job or the task that you're completing or need to complete. It has to do with all the other bigger stresses that you're having in your life, like money or finances or even relationships, okay? So when you're procrastinating, it's not you being lazy. It's actually your subconscious mind way of trying to do something else. Like, how when you procrastinate, you do one thing, instead of doing the thing that you need to do, like eat that big frog, you start eating like little small frogs, things that make you feel good. Well, that's just your subconscious mind way of dealing with the stresses that you're feeling in life. So that's why I said stop beating yourself up. All right, so now we're going to talk about the 3-step process that's going to help you alleviate that procrastination. Number one, and this is very, very important, forgive yourself. Okay, seriously, forgive yourself. Stop with all these negative thoughts and sayings about yourself. Not to mention the drill sergeant recruit I've been talking about. Okay, not even just that, but forgive yourself and stop being negative and mean to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. Okay, understand that this is a part of the process. Okay, but if you forgive yourself, number one, it's gonna stop that cycle, that never-ending cycle of procrastinating. Okay, so forgive yourself is number one. Number two is time travel. Yeah, time travel. What do I mean by time travel? Remember I told you yesterday I was a little bit crazy, right? Crazy is a good thing in my book. But time travel, and what I mean by time travel is this. Go to your future self and ask your future self, what should your normal self do now, or your current self do now? Okay, so ask yourself, because think about it. Whatever you're procrastinating on is something that's going to supposedly benefit you in the future, right? So then go to that future self and say, okay, future self, what would I do? And that future self is going to tell your current self to guess what? Do it. All right, and then number 3, the third step. But first, let's go back to number 1. Number 1 is forgive yourself. That's very, very important. Forgive yourself. Number 2 is time travel. Number 3 is just to get started. Seriously, just get started. Okay, understand it has nothing to do with laziness. It has nothing to do with anything other than your mind trying to cope with stress. All right, so get started. I want you to, 1, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself, and win or lose, just do it. All right, so I hope this was helpful for you. Again, it's been helpful for me. Matter of fact, you know what? I hope my BFF Nisi is watching this, because she has like been bugging me forever. Like every single day, she's like, "Oh, I love it." Absolutely. So speaking of which, is that you, Beth? Like for some reason it has my name coming up, but it says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And you're absolutely right. There's a book called, it's called The 5 Rule. And again, I'm kind of digressing, but this is important because it was mentioned in the chat. And I don't know who's saying it because mine, okay, so that's weird. Oh, I know what it probably is. You know what? Beth, I think you're logged in as me. Remember, I gave you admin. I gave you admin permission, so you're probably logged in as me because it says my name and it says that I'm talking to myself. But okay, I know it's you, Beth. No worries. But yes, there's a book called the 5-step rule, and the 5-step rule is going to actually help you to get started. And basically, what the 5-step rule is, you count yourself down. Okay, got it. This is crazy. The 5-step rule is you basically count yourself down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you go. You just do it. So when I talked about those 3 steps, that third step of getting started, the 5-step rule is actually a routine for you to get started on anything. So it's actually a great book by Mel Robbins, and it actually goes really well with the Eat the Frog, because it's all talking about procrastination and things that you can do to help stop procrastinating. Okay, but number 1, I want you to understand it's not about you being lazy. Like that's the main point, because we're sitting here talking, doing these self-thoughts, negative thoughts to ourselves, saying negative things about ourselves, and they're not true. Okay, they're not true. Maybe you're not as organized as you'd like to be, but stop saying you're not organized, because remember that drill sergeant and that recruit, your conscious mind is seriously talking to your subconscious mind. And I already mentioned that we're walking around 95% unconscious. Okay, unconscious 95% of the time. That means we're doing things on autopilot. So when you're constantly feeding in those negative thoughts about yourself, about you, then guess what? You're just feeding into that subconscious mind that you're already not aware of. Okay, so just stop it. Okay, stop it. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the yoga portion. And this is the part of the broadcast where we're going to get our... Well, welcome to Saturday morning. And I know you're thinking, okay, P, you normally do this at 6 a.m. Why are you doing this at 7? Are you procrastinating? No, this was actually a conscious. I love it. It was a productive procrastination. No, actually it wasn't. I decided just not to do it at 6:30. At 6, I decided to sleep in. And actually I wasn't sleeping. I was actually meditating. I was meditating on something I really needed to get off my mind before I did this live. So it wasn't me procrastinating, or destructive procrastinating, I should say. All right, but anyway. So how are you guys doing this morning? It's Saturday morning. I'm feeling really good. I almost forgot my cell phone here, but we need that for the music. Feeling really good and well and alive. And isn't this a great day to be alive? I mean, seriously, it's a great day. All right, so again, we're going to move on to the yoga portion. And on this section, this is a part of the broadcast that I invite you to be active. Okay, I shouldn't say that, because you were active on the mind session, right? Because you were taking notes. But in other words, I mean active meaning that we're going to get some movement in, not just the writing of the hands with you taking notes, because I know you're smart people taking notes, because if you're listening to me, you're smart, and that's what smart people do. But this one, we're going to actually get moving with our body. And we're going to be doing just a little 5-minute yoga routine, and something to get that mind-body connection. Remember, the mind's already connected to the body. We've already discussed this, but it's more like in terms of you getting connected with your inner self. So you're going to go inside and internally see what's going on inside of you, any negativity, any stresses, any pain, strains, whatever you feel at this present moment, and we're going to address those right now. Okay, so take your 3-breath process. We're going to start off let's start off in a seated position. Okay, so just a comfortable seated position with crossed leg, one over the left or right over left, doesn't matter. We'll switch it out. Okay, but get yourself grounded, get yourself centered, get yourself aligned. Once you do that, I want you to set your intention, what it is that you want to accomplish for this next 5 minutes. And then after that, immediately after that, we're going to go into the meditation. And this, again, is going to be the 2-minute exercise that we've been practicing, and I hope you've been doing on a regular basis. Like, I keep doing this one. One, because it's highly, highly effective. Like, seriously, it is that effective that I just keep doing it. Remember, repetition is the mother of learning, right? So if I keep doing something over and over again, it's not me being like less creative or not, trying to be mundane or anything like that. It really is there is a reason, right? So I'm stressing this 2-minute meditation exercise, particularly if you are a beginner, okay? Particularly if you're a beginner. But even as a seasoned meditator, I do this as well. I still do this 2-minute exercise because, again, it's all about being back to the basics, okay? So having that strong foundation. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. While I'm talking, I'm supposed to be doing my music, right? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be in a nice, comfortable seated position. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Your chest is lifted. You're on your sits bones, not the fleshy part of your bottom. Go ahead and get yourself aligned. Take your 3 breaths. Get yourself centered, aligned. Set your intention, and then let's get moving. Join me. All right, go ahead and take your hands out to the side. We're going to take a nice deep breath, inhaling. And as you exhale with your interlace those fingers, press your palms up toward the ceiling, and just go ahead and lean over toward the right. As you inhale, return back through the center. And as you exhale, take it over toward the left. As you inhale, return back to the center. And as you exhale, bring the palms forward, round through your spine, separate those shoulder blades. Kind of curve your back down, just get a deep stretch on the upper back, the spine. Inhale, take those palms up, and as you exhale, I want you to release it, clasp your hands behind, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and just kind of lift up your chest. Sitting up nice and tall. All right, go ahead and release it down. All right, go ahead and take a nice deep breath, inhaling. This time as you exhale, take that right arm down, take that left arm up and over. Just a nice gentle stretch just to get started. Remember, just kind of go internal and see what's going on inside of you. Take it gentle and just use your breath. Return back to the center. All right, take a nice deep breath again. This time as you exhale, take that right arm behind. Left arm takes over, up and over that left or that right thigh. And you're looking over that right shoulder. Just a nice gentle stretch. Again, as you inhale, just kind of hold your position. As you exhale, you're surrendering into the pose. And release. And you're releasing the tension and stress. Inhaling, return back to the center. And exhale, take it toward the opposite side. All right, we're going to return back to the center. Now this time I want you to take that left leg and just kind of cross it over your right. And we're going to go to the opposite direction this time. You're going to take your right hand, place it on the outer side of that left thigh. The opposite arm, the left arm is behind, fingertips are facing behind you. And you're going to look back over that left shoulder. Remember, yoga is about being active. It's about being active in your breath, being active in what's going on inside of you. Just feel like a gentle stretch, not just on your torso and on those obliques, but also on the hips, the glutes. And just kind of breathe your way through it. Just kind of take your time and then release. And then switch the sides. And making sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. So the tendency is to kind of slouch. I want you to sit up nice and tall as you look over that right shoulder. All right. Return back to the center. Go ahead and bring those soles of your feet together. Again, just getting as close as you can. And just kind of sitting up nice and tall. You're going to use your elbows. So you're going to clasp your hands on your ankles. You're going to use your elbows to push out on those thighs. You're just going to sit up nice and tall. Just doing a gentle stretch this morning. All right, take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, I want you to start walking your fingertips out toward what's in front of you. And again, use your breath. So as you inhale, because it's going to be multiple breaths, as you inhale, just kind of hold your position. Then as you exhale, surrender and release. Let the crown of your head face forward. So I want you to strain and look at me. We're going to be here for just a bit. And as you exhale, breathe, relax. Release the tension and stress in those hip flexors. Remember, it's been a good portion of our day in the seated position, so it kind of shortens up our hip flexors. So I like to do these poses that really open up your hip flexors. So for some of you, this may be tight. You may only can go right here. Okay, and that is okay. Just stay where you are. But again, as you inhale, hold your position. As you exhale, try to walk it out just a little further and release and surrender into the stretch. And again, you're releasing the tension and stress, using your breath to go internal. So as you exhale, direct the breath internal to the areas that you feel tight. All right, go ahead and walk yourself up. Bring the thighs in together, and let's rotate over to the side here. And I want you to take your hands just below your knees, just kind of rock yourself back and forth a little bit, just kind of massaging that spine. Sit up nice and tall. All right, sit up nice and tall. Again, make sure that you're on your sits bones. I want you to slowly round yourself one vertebrae at a time. If you need to, use your hands on your thighs to kind of assist yourself down. But take it nice and slow. Take the arms out to the side and then bring your knees in toward your chest as you draw your breath in. As you exhale, you're going to take your knees over toward the right, and your head can either stay forward or turn toward the opposite direction. Just a little spinal twist here. As you inhale, head and knees return back to the center, and as you exhale, take your knees over toward the opposite side. Now you're trying to keep your armpits against the mat, so if you need to, you can kind of lower your legs down, just depending on the flexibility and the stretch in the side. But try to keep those armpits down toward the mat and relax. Again, as you inhale, head and knees return back to the center. Let's do it again. And exhale, take it over toward the right. This time, take that right hand and just kind of press it on the thighs and give yourself a nice gentle twist rotation as you're looking over that left shoulder. Okay, head and knees return back to the center. This time we're going to take it over towards the opposite direction. This time the left hand is going to come up on the thighs, just kind of hold them down. And again, the right arm is extended, armpits pressed down, relax the tension in the shoulder. And you should feel a gentle stretch on your obliques and also on your spine. All right, go ahead and return back to the center, head and knees. And go ahead and bring those knees into your chest. And then roll yourself up. And let's take it over to the tabletop here. Now in this tabletop position, you're on your hands and knees with your palms directly underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips. We're going to draw the breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to drop your chin down to your chest, round to the spine. So again, this is more of a gentle stretch yoga where we're just warming up the lower back, the torso, head and chest comes forward, belly button goes down toward the mat as you inhale, and then exhale. Let's do it again. Inhale. And this time as you exhale, let's return back to neutral spine. So back to tabletop, we're going to do a balance pose. So you're going to draw your breath in. Find your focal point. That's one spot that you're staring at, either in your mat or slightly in front of you. And as you exhale, you're going to extend that right arm straight ahead and then extend that left leg behind. Nice long extension. Try to keep your head in line with your biceps. I don't want you looking up again. And you're feeling the stretch from the fingertip all the way down to the toes. Now this is a balancing pose, so if you're having trouble balancing, feel free to either lower your leg and or lower your arm. And then go ahead and release. As you exhale, opposite side. Now press the shoulder blade down, point the toe, and breathe. Your belly button is in towards your spine to help stabilize the torso. All right, let's go back to the opposite side. As you exhale, try to get a little bit more in that extension. Really good stretch here. Press the shoulders down. All right, go ahead and release. And exhale. And when I say press the shoulder down, the tendency is to hunch that shoulder with the arm extended, but also the shoulder that's on with the palm that's flat on the floor. So relax both shoulders. All right, go ahead and release it down. Now we're going to curl our toes under, and we're going to take it to Adho Mukha Savasana, or downward facing dog. And I want you to pedal your legs. All right, come up on the fingertips and walk your fingertips to your toes. And I want you to forward fold here in Uttanasana for a moment. Inhale, look up halfway, flatten out the back. Press the shoulders down. Exhale, Uttanasana. And then I want you to slowly round it up, taking it one vertebrae at a time. Let's just do a couple salutations to get the body warmed up, and we will be done. Deep breath, inhaling. Exhaling, dive the body forward. Look up halfway. Flatten out the back. Inchworm to the plank. Release your knee, chest, chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana. As you exhale, or inhale to upward facing dog. And as you exhale, curl those toes under to downward facing dog. Now from here, we're going to walk our fingertips back. Look up halfway. Forward fold. Inhale, take it all the way up. Arch back for me. Dive the body forward. Look up halfway. Flatten out the palms. Inchworm yourself out to the plank. Just kind of hold the plank here for a couple deep breaths. I want you to make sure you have the right positioning. So make sure your palms directly into your shoulders. Make sure your weight is toward your heel. Make sure your butt is not up in the air. So make sure you're flat. Belly button's in towards your spine. Head is a natural extension of the spine. Now you can either from here release your knee, chest, or chin. Or if you want to attempt the Chaturanga Dandasana, I don't want your elbows to go out. Your elbows are going to go back, and you're going to skim your rib cage with your forearms. If you have to go all the way down, that's fine. But hovering over in a mat. And then roll your body forward to upward facing dog. Relax those shoulders. Curl the toes under. And exhale to downward facing dog. Now I want you to keep your palms flat. I want you to walk your feet in toward your palms. Now if you need to, bend your knees. I want you to keep your palms flat on the floor. All right, now slowly taking up one vertebrae at a time, making sure that your head is the last to rise. And let's come to Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet are together, slightly hip distance apart, grounded, chest is lifted, head is natural extension of the spine, fingertips are facing to the ground. Inhale, draw the arms up. As you exhale, dive the body forward, place your palms down flat. You're going to walk your feet out toward the edges of the mat, right, left, or left, right. And as you exhale, release the tailbone down toward the mat. Using the elbows to push out your inner thighs. Bring the palms together at heart center, bow your head down. Extend some gratitude as we open up the hips in Malasana. Now go ahead and release your palms down, and then take them behind and come to a comfortable seated position. Whichever leg you cross first the first time, at the beginning, I want you to do the opposite this time. And then again, make sure that you're on your sits bones, not the fleshy part of your bottom. Your chest is lifted, fingertips are down toward the mat. You're going to draw your breath in, inhaling. And as you exhale, release the fingertips down toward the mat. Again, inhaling. And exhaling. One more time. Deep breath. Inhaling. I want you to draw in all the positive energy, and I want you to clasp your palms together at the very top. Bring the energy in towards your heart center. And namaste. All right, so this concludes our yoga portion. And now we're going to go and do the final thing, which is working on our soul. And particularly, we're going to be doing a 2-minute meditation exercise. So as I mentioned before, this is a great way for those of you that are beginning meditators. Good morning, Nisi. I talked about you earlier. As always, I always talk about Nisi. That's my BFF I was referring to earlier. So you need to watch this because you're going to stop bugging me after you watch this one. Seriously. All right, so anyway, let's go to the meditation. All right, so on this meditation, what we're going to be doing is just a 2-minute exercise. Guys, and I don't know how many times I want to beg of you. Like, seriously, if you just do this twice a day, okay? We're doing it one right now with me, so just find another time sometime today to do this 2-minute exercise. And over time, you're going to want to do it longer, okay? But it's a 2-minute exercise. And all you're going to be doing, particularly if you're beginning new at meditation, you're like, oh, P, I just can't meditate, I can't stop these thoughts from going on. Remember, over 70,000 thoughts go through your mind on a daily basis. That's a sign of having a positive, productive, and alive mind, okay? So get over it. But there are ways that you can actually get some space where you're not really focusing on those thoughts. You're focusing on your breath, and you're just going to that quiet space within. And that's what meditation does for you, okay? So don't think that just because people meditate means they don't have thoughts. It just means they're not aware of those thoughts at the time that they're meditating. So you too can get to that state. But it takes practice, and this 2-minute drill is going to be the perfect way for you to do it. So, explain this 2 minutes. So what you're going to do is just for the next 2 minutes, after we get ourselves aligned and centered and grounded, everything starts from there always, everything, okay? Grounded, centered, and aligned. When you get up, don't just jump out of the bed and just start going. Take the time to give yourself a couple breaths, get yourself centered and aligned, and set your intentions, okay? So after we do that, all you're going to do is you're just going to breathe normally for 2 minutes. Okay, but you're going to count your breath. Specifically, you're going to count your exhales. Okay, so as you inhale and then exhale, you're going to count 1. Inhale, exhale, you count 2. Whatever your normal breath is, whatever your normal rhythm is, you're not going to manipulate it or anything. Okay, just your normal breath. You're going to count. Now, at any time there's any distractions, whether internally with your thoughts or externally with noise or background or whatever, where your focus gets off of your breath, you're going to first acknowledge those thoughts, okay? Acknowledge those distractions, and then bring your attention back to the breath, but you're going to start all over again at the count of 1. Okay, you're only going to go up to 10. And that's the maximum you want to do is go up to 10. Why past 10? Because by past 10, you'll probably fall asleep, like seriously. No, but seriously, count your breath, count your exhales. Anytime there's any distractions, then you're going to start over at 1 again, okay? And just do this for 2 minutes. So before we get started, let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Let's get ourselves grounded. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, into your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, nice deep breath in through your nose. And then this time as you exhale, just go ahead and close your eyes. I want you to start your normal breathing and start your counting now. right, go ahead and open up your eyes and bring your awareness back into the room that you're in as you release, relax, returned, refreshed, and calm. You've done something good for yourself today. All right, so again, continue to share those numbers with me. I'd love to hear your progress as you're meditating, and I'm also thank you for the feedback and saying that this is really helping you out. I want to, again, thank you for taking the time to meditate with me, and also thank you for taking the time to watch this Transform Yourself in 15 minutes. Your word for today is worthy. You are worthy, and I want you to have a worthy day. And I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Oh, no, not tomorrow. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, this was actually the last broadcast for this month. Today, is September 30th. So we will actually return back. I will return on Monday, October the 16th. I think I kind of mentioned that I have a training I'm going to be going through all next week, and it's going to be like literally all day besides my teaching schedule. So I need a week off. So I'm going to take off the week of the 9th, but I will be back on Monday the 16th with a new book, fresh ideas, new yoga routine, and also a new meditation. We'll still be doing this 2-minute one because it is that effective. I want you to ground this. I want you to instill this meditation into to you. All right. So while I'm going, please, please, please continue your practice. Continue reading your book. Continue feeding your mind with those positive things that we've been doing. Also, continue your practice of yoga, okay? So your yoga meditation. Remember, it just takes 5 minutes, guys. You can do this at any time. Even though I say transfer yourself in 15 minutes, you can spread them out. You can do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, or whatever. And then by all means, please continue to do that meditation for 2 minutes every single day. Now, what I'm going to want you to share this broadcast, and I'll probably pop on within the 2-week time frame to come on and do some meditation with you, or maybe even do a yoga routine here or there. But I will complete the broadcast in 2 weeks. So I will see you then. Bye.